Hi, everybody, and welcome to the DRF Breeding Report. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo via telephone. And this week, we're going to preview the Fasig Tipton Gulfstream 2-year-olds in training sale on Wednesday, March the 1st. They've already had one of the under tack shows. And Nicole, a couple of very fast workers, 5 to be exact, 1 furlong in 10 seconds.
Yeah, there were 5 who tied for the fastest work during yesterday's breeze show at Gulfstream by 5 different sires. A Bernardini colt, a Spring at Last colt, an Into Mischief filly, a Pioneer of the Nile filly, and a Bodemeister colt. So really a variety of sires represented there.
We're going to take a look at that Bernardini colt because not only did he work fast, 1 furlong in 10 seconds, but hip number 135 out of the dam winner has got a fantastic pedigree. Let's show that video clip.
Oh yeah, just a wonderful page on this colt, who, as you're watching this video of his work, he's an April foal, and he's just beautifully mature for his age, a beautiful mover. He's a half-brother to graded stakes winner Ocho, a half to grade 2 placed Private Ensign and bred along the same sire line. And his third dam is a name that's very familiar to all of you, Unbeaten Champion and Blue Hen Personal Ensign. Such a good broodmare, of course, and her daughters and granddaughters are still turning out high-level stakes horses, as highlighted by some of this colt's immediate half-siblings.
After that workout, you have to think that this colt is in line to go for a lot of money on Wednesday. He sold for $350,000 at the Fasig Tipton August yearling sale. Could be sort of a home run pinhook.
Yeah, he really could be. When you see a yearling price like that, you know that they're, hopefully thinking in the upper 6 figures to 7 figures as a pinhook prospect in order to make a profit. And really, the way this colt worked, he kind of ticked all the boxes for them. There's their last hurdle. So assuming that he vets clean after that work, you're really possibly looking at a home run with this horse here, as you phrased.
Let's look pretty quickly at the other 4 that worked 1 furlong in 10 seconds. Hip number 35 is a Spring at Last colt. There's a big turf pedigree on the bottom female side.
Yeah, very interesting. Not necessarily the sort of horse that you expect to go out there and blitz a furlong in 10 seconds in February of his 2-year-old year on the dirt, but really an interesting, a surprise sort of horse at the top of the leaderboard here.
Yeah, we wouldn't expect that kind of pedigree to go 1 furlong in 10. We would perhaps expect that out of hip number 66, an Into Mischief filly with speed on both sides of the pedigree. The dam's kin to Sing Baby Sing and Roll Hennessy Roll and Value Plus. She has license to be a fast one.
Yeah, and Into Mischief, of course, finished his last year's leading juvenile sire, and he's turning out some precocious types. So really, she fits right in line with a lot of her family on both sides.
Hip number 118 is by Bodemeister at a Pink Diamond. A little bit of pedigree here. The dam's a half to a grade 1 placed 2-year-old named Rahi Dali, so a little bit of speed and a little bit of stamina.
Yeah, and Bodemeister, who had both speed and stamina as well, classic place grade 1 winner, very brilliantly fast horse, one of last year's, top freshman sires with some good runners, and this colt really just a beast physically, I thought.
Hip number 126 is Pioneer of the Nile. This is a colt out of Ribbon Taffy. The dam's a half to the multiple stakes winner Barrier Reef, but I like this pedigree. I think it's pretty good that this horse has shown some speed thus far because there does seem to be stamina on the female side.
Yeah, and this one really also really liked the way of going, just a kind of long, rangy, beautiful stride, kind of typical of what we see from Pioneer of the Nile. And with the success of Classic Empire last year on the heels of American Pharoah, Pioneer of the Nile has really gotten a boost commercially in the mares he's attracting, and that, with this fast breeze, that could really set this one up for success as well as he's on the continued upswing.
That horse has some stamina, as well as the next one that we're going to profile. That's hip number 153, a Tis Now colt, a full brother to Colonel John. We're going to take a look at this one's workout, the 1 furlong work. Not a lot of speed here in 11 seconds, but this horse we expect to be a classic type, a mile, mile and an eighth, mile and a quarter.
Yeah, I certainly expect this one to get better. The longer he goes, the longer he's in training. You mentioned he's a full brother to Colonel John, who was very versatile. Performed multiple grade 1 winner, performed well on dirt, on synthetic, on turf. This one's also a full brother to Mr. Hot Stuff, who was third in the Santa Anita Derby, a traditional Derby prep as a 3-year-old, and went on to become a Grade 1 winning steeplechaser. So a ton of stamina there, and also a half or full brother to a couple of other, stakes performing fillies. So just an outstanding page. Not necessarily sure how commercial this one will be, breezing in 11 seconds. He was a $150,000 Keeneland September yearling last year, but just a terrific page and really probably a ton of upside. Could be kind of a sneaky buy for someone.
Now, a colt that might have some speed is hip number 80. This is a bay by Tappet, a full brother to Sweet Loretta, a Grade 1 stakes winner as a 2-year-old filly. And this horse has already sold pretty well through the ring. $450,000 Fasig Tipton July yearling. I wouldn't be surprised if this colt can run a little bit.
Yeah, that was the second highest price at Fasig July last summer. This colt, as you mentioned, a full brother to Sweet Loretta, who won the Grade 3 Schuylerville and then dead heated for the win in the Grade 1 Spinaway. Off her success, the family's value has kind of skyrocketed. Their dam, the stakeless mare, I think I saw a Putty Cat, sold for $2.2 million last year at the Keeneland November breeding stock sale. So really the family's in demand. Of course, you know what Tappet does in the auction ring. This colt breezed in 10 3/5 yesterday. Maybe a little unfocused, a little immature before settling into the work. So this one might not be one that they're looking to come out, and debut right off the bat. But even into, kind of that summer and fall at Del Mar and Saratoga and the fall race meet, this could be one that we hear from later in the year looking at the rest of the family. In addition to Sweet Loretta, you've got a 2-year-old champion in there and Spring in the Air. So really it's an early classy family.
And all the way back, you've got Tejano Run, who was a really nice horse back in the day, winner of the Breeders' Futurity as well, and could certainly stretch out to races like the Widener. Let's move on to hip number 40. This is a Scat Daddy filly, and I think the Scat Daddies are going to be in demand right now. But you look at this female family, as we take a look at the catalog page for hip number 40, you've got a lot of class, a lot of distance. This filly could be very special.
Yeah, and really Scat Daddy, at this point, we're going to start to see supply and demand come into play with them a lot. This is the second to last crop for Scat Daddy, 2-year-olds of this year. And really, his runners kind of go in any direction. They went on turf, they went on dirt. This particular filly, a full to multiple Grade winning millionaire Handsome Mike, a half to Union Strike, who was a Grade 1 winner last year as a juvenile. This filly breezed in just 10 3/5, but I liked the way she did it. She really did it easily. So you got to think that there's more in the tank there, and could be kind of a special filly.
Sold for $270,000 as a Keeneland November weanling, then bought back for $450,000 last year. That's the Scat Daddy filly, hip number 40, out of Classic Strike. The last one we'll look at on this week's breeding report is hip number 57, a bay filly by Uncle Mo. And let's put up that catalog page right now. Her full brother, Mighty Mo, has already done some nice things on the turf for trainer Bill Mott.
Yeah, and this one, breezing, really caught my eye because she moved like a typical Uncle Mo, and I very strongly mean that as a compliment. As we've discussed, he just throws athletes, and this filly, I loved the way she turned in her 10-1 breeze at the Undertack show yesterday. Did it easily, just a beautiful mover, athletic mover, really long, powerful, effortless stride, and just really in the mold of what we're seeing from Uncle Mo with that phenomenal first crop. And now his second crop that's starting to produce some more late blooming stakes winners. So just really a world of promise if you look at what Uncle Mo's done with some of these athletic types like this.
He really has been a remarkable young stallion, Uncle Mo. This filly sold for $50,000 as a Keeneland November weanling, and then went for $250,000 last July at Fasig Tipton. Those are the ones we're going to keep an eye on. The sale goes on Wednesday, March the 1st. For all of the updates, follow Nicole and follow the DRF breeding team at DRF Breeding, at DRF Russo. We'll see you next week on the DRF Breeding Report.